In this video, I'm going to show you why we are in this simulated reality. I'm going to show you the thing and the reason we actually came here, and I'm going to show you exactly what you can do about it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be going deeper on understanding simulated reality, how reality is a virtual reality, one that appears to be real so that we can have a physical experience, and show you why we actually came here at this time. Now, the information in this video is going to come from a couple different sources that have consistent messaging throughout all of this. One of it is going to be the Law of One, which is some of the most profound channeled material from, I believe, the 70s, the 80s, maybe both decades. And there's going to be information from there. There's going to be information from Bashar. Many of you know that I like Bashar. From Dolores Cannon, and also the scientist, and his name is Thomas Campbell. Thomas Campbell is a scientist, a physicist, nuclear physicist, I believe, and he has been bringing about and showing the proof, running experiments and showing different proof that it's highly probable that we live in a simulated reality. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be explaining it from different viewpoints and showing you as well that this is a very powerful, and it is also a very not such a scary thing. Elon Musk also has said that it is highly probable. I think he said there is like less than 1% of a 1% chance that we don't live in a simulated reality. He said the chances are extraordinarily high. Now think of this first off. This is a simple analogy. You may have heard one of my old videos where I talked about this. We already have VR equipment that you can wear where you don't know the difference, and your brain starts to believe that it is in that virtual reality. In 5 or 10 years, we will have technology to where you can't tell the difference between you being in a virtual reality or you being here right now. It'll be something that goes over your head. I don't even know what it could be. And when that happens, you won't know the difference. Now, if that's the case, and we're already close within 5, 10, 15 years of having that kind of technology. I just came from a Tony Robbins event recently, so that's why my voice is still kind of cracked. If we're that close to having that kind of technology, what's to say at higher levels of consciousness we didn't construct of a reality where we could temporarily be inside of a physical vessel that we call a body, so that we can then have a physical type experience. We can then forget who we are, believe and identify with the sensations of our senses, the vibrational interpretations of our senses, so that we can then have an experience of then remembering who we are. So just something to think about. We already almost have the technology. So what's to say at a higher level, don't know if it'd be like some higher ET beings or something that decided, oh, let's have this physical reality where we forget who we are. And then what happened is we decided to come here to have this kind of experience. So we already have the technology that could tell the difference. So the point of that is knowing that it's not that far off from us already possibly being inside of what we think of as a virtual reality. It's just a virtual reality where consciousness is inside of it versus some technological thing that goes over our head. And our senses are so immersed into it that it feels so real. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there first of all. Now, the thing that I want to talk about is that, okay, let's look at Thomas Campbell. Thomas Campbell is a nuclear physicist. I believe that's the exact, the proper title. But he has a book called My Big Toe, T-O-E. And it's even got a picture of a foot, like a simulated foot with pixels. It's kind of funny, but it's, TOE stands for Theory of Everything. And his theory of everything is that we live inside of a simulated reality, a virtual reality, and we have a larger consciousness unit, and then what we are is we are an individuated consciousness unit. We are here to have an individual experience of who we are. We forget who we are so that we can go through certain processes. And the purpose of it, he says, is for us to learn more of who we are. And this, and also not just learn who we are, but I'll talk a little bit more about the purpose of it as well, which is to do something called lower entropy. Lower entropy. Entropy means chaos. And the way the universe works is the universe is moving towards a unity, integral connection between all things. Everything is connected. So in a way what we did is we split off into different individuated units of consciousness so that we could then have this remembrance of who we are. We could then feel connected and remember who we are at a greater level. Now, if you were to study that, that's Thomas Campbell, very powerful information, and I'll be explaining more and doing more videos about him as well. And for now, let's go to and look at Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon has 17 or 19 books, I can never remember the number, of transcripts of her getting people to a very deep level of hypnosis, to where their higher self comes through, to where then information comes through. People may ask questions, like they'll have Dolores or people that are QHHT practitioners write down a list of questions they might have, and then when they're in this deep level of hypnosis, the questioner will ask these questions. Questions like, why did I incarnate at this time? What was the purpose of this person in my life? What was my soul contract with this? And these different questions will then yield answers that come from the subconscious mind. And there's been profound information that's come through, and this QHHT process has gone through thousands and thousands of different people all around the world. And her books are just transcripts of those conversations. Now, one of the most consistent things that came up during those 17 or 19 books, so many people from all over the world who did not know each other said that they were here for this time of awakening on the planet. That right now is the most exciting time to ever be alive, because right now there's a transformation on the planet happening. We're going from one density of being into a higher density of being. And that we came here to be a part of this. What, if you want to go a little bit more down the rabbit hole, what was said is back in the 1920s, 30s, or 40s, there was a call put out to the universe, some type of energetic call, that called people here. We could call them light workers, we can call them, it's you watching this video, people that are waking up first. Put a call out for souls to come here, to incarnate into the system, to then wake up to who we are, to wake up to who they are. So that then that would help other people on the planet wake up, because what happened is when the atomic bomb went off back in the early mid-1900s, what happened is that then in a way violated certain rules. The rules are we have free will within our reality bubble in this reality. However, when we start to influence other reality systems, and when an atomic bomb goes off, it ripples into other reality systems, then there's the opportunity for someone to step in to help. That someone, though, is us. That someone, though, that call that was put out was people that have had lives on Earth before, people that felt compassionate towards Earth, because Earth is a very beautiful place. And then what happened is we decided to come here, even though we knew it was going to be hard. We knew we were going to have to forget who we are to come here, to then remember who we are. And if you're watching this video right now, then most likely that's you. Because if you weren't open to this video, you wouldn't even clicked on it. So we came here to remember who we are, because then that ripples out and affects everyone else in our reality, even at subconscious levels. Because the alternative was we destroy ourselves, or we influence this reality system by waking up. And you might ask yourself, why don't higher dimensional beings, just help us and give us technology or something? First off, we already have the technology. First off, since Tesla, we've had free energy. So it's not that we need to be given technology. Secondly, the purpose is for us to come into our own power, not to us be given something. It's a big savior complex that's within the collective consciousness where people want to be saved. And thirdly, we had to come and play to the rules of this reality. The rules of this reality are you forget who you are. That's what makes this reality so difficult. We forget who we are. And because we forget who we are when we're born, then what happens is we go through a lot of pain. We feel and have experiences of conditional love, or maybe a lack of love. And because of that, we then develop these belief systems about who we are and negative experiences. However, we came here, we knew that we could forget who we are, remember who we are, and in a way we had to incarnate into the system and play according to its rules, so that then we could wake up and help other people, almost lay that blueprint in a way. And how is that happening? Well, you're watching this video right now. As you awaken more and more, you influence your family, even at subconscious levels, your friends, and it's happening in a very powerful way. So many people are waking up in the world, it's amazing. And that's what's happening. Now, we played according to those rules. So that's Dolores Cannon, and 17 of her books, or 19 of her books. The Law of One says something very similar. There is a harvest, it's called the harvest, that's going on right now. A lot of the information, the Law of One, by the way, the guy that was asking questions to Carla, his wife that was channeling the information, was a physicist. He was very intelligent. The questions he asked were very high-level questions. That's why sometimes it's hard to read some of the transcripts because it's kind of dense. However, one of the main messages is that we're all a piece of the one infinite creator. We're all a piece of this high vibrational energy. We've come here to forget who we are so that we can then remember who we are. And one of the powerful messages of the law of one is that there's a harvest taking place in this lifetime. It's actually happening right now. The harvest is where we have the ability to go from one vibrational level of consciousness to the next. And here's the thing, as we came here, because we are eternal spiritual beings that came here to forget who we are so that we can remember who we are, as we may go from third density to fourth density, we may have a higher self, a higher version of us that then is able to be bumped at fifth density to sixth density to seventh density. That's one of the reasons that we also came here. It has a residual effect on the outer layers of our soul, of our spirit. So that's another reason that we might be here. The law of one. Bashar says the same thing. Bashar says the exact same thing. That there's the time of transformation on the planet right now, that we had to forget who we are so that we can remember. He says our reality is a virtual reality that appears real by the senses. Nonetheless, we are eternal spiritual beings having this temporary experience. And the purpose of it is for us to grow up. Think of it. Reality is like a school. This 3D physical reality on Earth is like a school with many different lessons, many different grades, and the way that even Dolores Cannon talks about it is she says that if you don't pass one grade, if you flunk out, you gotta do it again. This is why a lot of people have karma, and it's like they don't, maybe they don't take their power back from someone that's taking their power away from them. Well, until they take their power back, maybe that other person is out of their life, but somebody else may repeat that same pattern. So it's about learning the lessons. The lessons are love. The lessons are power. The lessons are forgiveness. These are the lessons of the school of life. And we've all come here to learn these lessons and to remember who we are. And part of this purpose of us being in this simulation is to learn love and to be a part of one of the most powerful times to be alive in the history of, from what the law of one and Bashar says, ever. We wanted to be here right now. And Dolores Cannon's material, guess what she says as well? She uses this as a metaphor. She does it, by the way. She writes the books. She doesn't write the books. They're transcripts. They're transcripts of these sessions from thousands of different people all over the world that have a consistent message. One of the transcripts talks about how there's this like bubble around Earth and how there's such a desire for people to incarnate, to be here right now. Listen to this. There are people, there's also pay attention as well, like maybe we're just reproducing very fast, but there's like now almost 8 billion souls on this planet as humans. Animal souls, I guess, as well, but human, like so many people want to be here right now. There was this visual that one of the people in the transcripts talked about how there was souls that wanted to come in, that wanted to be born on planet. And somebody would say, I don't know if there's a metaphor or what this was, somebody would say, okay, you can come, you're gonna be some kid in this third world country, you're only gonna live 2 years, that's the highest probability, and blah, 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 blah. This is what is available right now. And they said, I don't care, I just want to say that I was here for this time of transformation. And then therefore have that, having that life where probably they will pass away at an early age or something like that. That's the highest probability. I don't know exactly how that works, but what it shows is that souls want to be here right now. Now, here's the thing. Not only are you here in this reality right now, but you are on the leading edge of understanding this information. Doesn't make you better than anyone else. It's not about getting some significant role and feeling like you're ahead of everyone, but it means you have a purpose. And part of your purpose may be to wake up, to help other people to wake up. So the purpose of this reality is to lower entropy, to lower chaos, to move towards one, to know that we are infinite spiritual beings, to, it's not even necessary to know that. It's just to tap more into the spiritual side and make everything in life more spiritual. And also at the same time to know that you're here to be a part of this transformation of consciousness. The simulated reality is a simulated reality because everything is an interpretation of vibration, understanding that we are eternal spiritual beings that are in this reality to remember who we are, and to know that the more we tap into this energy, the more that it becomes powerful for us. Now there's something as well called backdrop people. Dolores Cannon has a whole segment on backdrop people. this is a little bit of a dangerous territory. However, I have a unique perspective on it. I'm gonna go ahead and link the backdrop people below. Check out that video. That video, as Dolores would say, might bend your mind into a pretzel. I filmed it when I was in Japan walking around, and it kind of was very suiting for the environment as well. There were so many people. So check out the video on the backdrop people below. And also, what do you think about virtual reality? Let me know below. Do you think we live in a virtual reality, in a simulated reality? That's really cool. Let me know either way. I'd be really interested in your perspective. Other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.